I think I need to be lowered because I'm screaming my ears out. I'm coming a little sober today.
I'm a little strong today.
I'm always coming in strong.
We were live when you were testing the mic, just FYI.
Oh, really?
Yes, we
Dang,
were live.
She came out in it.
So y'all heard me coming in strong.
Oh my God. Oh, it's you are now tuned into Ladies Night Radio Show. It's your girl, Mysterious Jax, coming to you live from the Good News Studio. Also here with me are my amazing co-hosts, the ladies.
Hey y'all, it's Madi on the mic. Happy Friday. We made it.
Hey y'all, it's Crazy Maria. Name stuck, so I guess we're just gonna continue with it.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
The one that was testing her mic as we're going
Yes,
live.
el
I
viernes.
told you we were going live, and you were like, she just starts yelling into the mic.
And keeps doing it. She's waiting for her moment.
I don't know what she's doing over there.
Anywhere it fits, I want to.
You know, this is Maria's world in it.
Yeah.
Be excited.
So funny, you're calling it to the universe. You say it all the time.
We're
so
just
pretty
living in
soon
it.
we're gonna be moving on up.
Oh my God.
Damn, she went there.
Let me turn your mic up. Hold on.
Told you to
No,
turn
your
it down.
headphones.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I got your headphones loud so you can scream into your own ear.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, ladies.
Man, we made it. What
in
a
this
great
difficult week
It has
for
been a week.
City of LA, for just the world in general, anybody who's affected.
Yes.
What's going on, Maria?
Can you guys hear us? Let us know, please.
Did you reset it?
I did.
You guess where you're at? You're on Straight to the League. You're not even on Ladies Night.
Y'all, we're taking over everything right
We're
now.
taking over everything. But please make sure we're on air, Maria. That's your job there. Yeah, it's been a crazy week with the passing of Nipsey Hussle, which we will be discussing tonight in our topic, in the second half of our topic.
Yes.
And so if you want to chime in on that, make sure you tune in or get in the chat box or call us. I posted the number. It's 323-900-0478. Our Skype is set up so you can call. Or you can always studio. You guys know if you ever want to come to the studio, just hit one of us up and more than welcome to come. We have plenty of seats that you can sit
Yes,
at.
today we are ready for you to come through.
Yeah. And I also want to give a shout out to Kosi, our producer Kosi, who just had surgery this week on Monday. She is really excited. Yay. Let's give her a round of
Yes,
applause.
Many blessings to you,
Yes.
my Kosi.
Yeah, she had surgery on her right ear. And it's her second surgery of this type, so she can hear out of both of her ears now. So her first surgery, she was able to hear out of her left ear. With this surgery, she'll be able to hear out of both. So we are excited for her in this new journey that she has. So yeah, she's at home resting. She couldn't be here.
She's doing it for all of us. I think it's just, man, blessings. The modern technology, but also the opportunity and just like changes. Like you can hear, like what a blessing it is to realize that again. Like you have that ability.
So just to give you an idea of the way that the surgery works, they drill a hole into her head, into her skull. Not to her skull, is it?
I think it has to be through her skull, right?
It's to her head for sure. And pretty much she was so calm and so excited for this surgery. And my heart is beating. I know her mom is like worried. Her mom has been texting me, and her sister. I'm like worried, but I'm not trying to show it. But I remember I posted it on my Instagram, and I was like, "You're so excited and you're calm." And she was so calm going into it. But like knowing that somebody's gonna drill a hole into your head would make me so nervous.
I asked her, I was like, how are you feeling? And she's like, I'm good. And I'm like, even like me when I think about the doctor, like getting a pap smear or something, I'm like, oh my God.
Right.
So, and she's like, no, they're just going to drill for a couple of hours.
into my skull.
Fuck. I'm like, damn.
She was wondering why everybody was so worried. She's like, I don't get it. I don't get why everybody's so worried.
Yeah.
But you know, it's I think the modern technology is very crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that, you know, this is advanced. This is state of the art. Like drilling a hole into, I don't want to say into your skull. I don't know exactly.
I don't know if it's into the skull. I know if it's into the head.
They place something on your skull.
Yeah.
And that's what.
I don't think it was into her skull. I think it was into her head.
Yeah.
Before it goes to her skull. I'm not sure. But
Just
apparently the doctor got paid like 18 grand for just, not just, but for this surgery that took about 3 hours.
I saw him. I was like, wow.
I know.
You got money.
You got wanted to ask him how you do it.
How you do it?
How you doing?
How you doing today?
No, how you do it. I want to learn how to do it.
Girl,
I don't know if I'd be able to
school for that.
all that, but I don't know.
You never know.
Well, shout out to Kosi for
we love her. We miss her.
And resting, and she'll be back next week, but she's taking for sure a rest day for that. So yeah, let's jump into the cheese man.
The cheese man of the week.
Yes.
Some bigs happening.
Yes.
We're ready.
Okay, today's cheese man involves the Queen Bee.
Okay.
Queen Bee. Beyonce is rumored. Okay, first of all, there's two things on Beyonce. First one is this one. I guess a picture of her twins got leaked, and the Beehive is upset. I didn't know that they were going to be upset. I didn't even know it was a leaked picture. I just saw it roaming the internet. I was like, oh, how cute. Let me post it. So I posted it on Ladies Night. And then I read later that it's a leaked picture, and the Beehive is super mad that whoever leaked it is showing like her privacy life on there. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, the one with her twins and you can finally see their faces?
Yeah. I feel like whoever leaked it, Beyonce knew. Like, she was like, you can leak it.
Yeah, because it's like, it's too personal. You literally were that close to Beyonce. It had to be somebody she knew.
Yeah. So, I think Beyonce approved it, so I think the Beehive needs to chill.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Beyonce allowed that.
Everyone looked good in the picture. It wasn't like somebody was hiding behind a bush. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a perfect image of the twins sitting on her lap, and they're so cute.
Yeah. It's like good lighting. Everybody.
Yeah, they were
good.
out and about in the sun. Yeah. And the second thing of Beyonce is Beyonce signed a huge deal with Adidas.
She's doing big things for merch, for the culture.
Did you ever buy her Darion stuff?
I did not. The House of Darion stuff? The House of Darion, no.
I remember buying one piece.
Like
forgot
pants?
What it was. Like, I think it was a shirt. But anyways, so she signed with Adidas after turning down an offer from Reebok for the lack of diversity on the team that was going to be working on the product.
Those are some boss moves, though.
Yes.
And
people
apparently
in the back gotta learn.
That womp 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 is for Reeboks. Yeah, y'all messed up. Come on. What is wrong with you?
With everything that's happening in the world.
I mean, is it wrong to expect diversity these days?
Or it's just like you really thought that, like, because it was a whatever multi-million-dollar deal, that this artist, Beyonce, like, would be okay with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like somebody was commenting on it, like, you knew where she comes from. Like, all her shows are like, first of all, usually all women, let alone all women of color.
Right.
So to assume that Beyonce would be okay with lack of diversity on the team that's creating her line is like wild. Like, no business backup was probably done.
Yeah. I honestly think that they didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Reebok is not high enough up there to to overlook something stupid like that. I really think that it's somebody in the background that just forgot to look at that detail.
I don't know though, because they said they had the meeting set up. She showed up. They were ready to go, and then she was just like, "This is everybody." And I think at that point, those people in the room were probably like the CEOs, the top management, top paid. Probably most likely Caucasian, if anything else sprinkled in there.
Beyonce was going to go in there with that mentality.
Yeah, or they probably thought like, well, this artist wants my money anyways. And I think it was a really powerful moment because, it was just Reebok. It wasn't, maybe we think like Nike's better or whatever, but just Reebok still makes millions. And Reebok is still like, has the clientele from our communities. So it's like, I think for them, it was a shock for her to just get up and leave.
Well, I think you said the key thing, need. Beyonce doesn't need more money. Beyonce doesn't need to be in the face of Nike. She already made. So she's actually doing them a favor. That's Adidas, y'all about to get paid. I love Adidas. Yeah. I prefer Adidas before Nike and Reebok. So Adidas, I'm coming.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest move too. Is like, I think when Adidas heard what happened with Reebok, I bet you they stacked their boardroom or their whatever office people with like multicultural. And I think that's like a simple way for artists who have so much power to be able to make those changes. Like, a lot of artists are like, oh, I can't do anything about what's happening. But it's like not with one simple move, like just leaving that room, leaving that deal, leaving that money. You're showing them, nah, I'm not going to accept that you're not allowing people of color into these spaces.
And that's good. That's good.
And it's that simple. She didn't do nothing wild. She wasn't out here protesting, posting on the gram, being unprofessional. She was just like, I'm leaving. Yeah. And I'm taking my money with me.
boss move.
Yep.
I love that. Good for you, Beyonce.
Yay,
Good
so
for
shout
you.
out
But
to
don't be mad about the
Beyonce.
babies being on camera. I enjoy it. They're cute.
No, she's not mad. The Beehive is mad.
Beehive is loyal.
The Beehive is her fan base.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
How do they know she didn't want the pictures out?
Because they're very protective of her because they know how private she is already. But I'm thinking like whoever, like Mari said, whoever took that picture is close enough to have know her and they approved it.
I don't think Beyonce is dumb enough to let somebody around her family that's gonna do something that's stupid. I think she's very
strategic. She knows,
like her circle is not huge.
Right, exactly. All right, so with that said, that's the cheese myth for the week.
Yay, Beyonce always giving us good stuff.
Always. So next up, we have the game time.
Game time. We need this. We need a little laugh, a little drink.
Hey. So today's game is going to be a little interesting because our producer is down. She usually prepares the game for us.
Yes.
And so we don't really have it planned out perfectly. So we're just going to have fun with it and wing it. We're going to play truth or shot. So we have some wine and some champagne to take shots of. You can't really take I don't know who takes shots of wine or champagne, but we're going to do that today. We're going to play truth or shot. And we're going to ask each other the questions. So I'll ask Maria will ask Mari, and Mari will ask me, or reverse. So we'll have fun with that. I see Calvin's in the chat box. Hi, Calvin.
Hey, Calvin.
He said that's how it should be. Wait, what else did he say?
Here, I'll go up.
He said the Beehive is mad at everything. They can calm down. I agree with you, Calvin. This is like, come on, this is too much. You guys need to chill out. Beehive, I love you, and I appreciate how you guys are so protective of Beyonce, because I'm a Beyonce fan. I don't think I'm a Beehive, but I'm definitely a big Beyonce fan. I just think that sometimes they do too much. Anyways, okay, we're going to do this truth or shot. I don't know who's going to go first.
I found the website with a bunch of questions, so I'm ready.
Oh, Mari. Okay, so you get to pick who you want to ask the question to.
Why don't
Maria?
we just do rock, paper, scissors? And
no, she has her question ready. She's ready. She's going to ask either me or you, and then that person asks.
Okay.
Hey, Stacy.
Let me see.
Hi, Stacy. I see you.
Stacy. All right. Let me see.
Who is your question for?
My question is for my tia, Maria.
Wait, you're going counterclockwise?
I'm going counterclockwise. I'm going to switch it up. It's spring.
That must be really inappropriate. Good Lord.
I'm going to start you off easy.
Ama, apaga el teléfono.
I'm going to start you off easy.
I set her
A
up
ver,
before
no,
I
tía,
came.
usted me va a decir si está echando mentiras. Here's your question. Wait, do we get a time limit or not? That's not how the game is.
Wait, okay. It's not those, like, how many states we have or nothing like that.
No, this is not a category question. It's truth or shot. You can't be lying either. Don't be lying.
All right, here we go.
All right. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done while drunk? And it better be good. You can't just say you fell. Because everybody does that.
What?
Oh, my God.
The most embarrassing thing.
You peed on yourself. No.
Oh, you did the Christian.
I actually did, though. Whatever. It happens to everybody, right?
So I went into the boys' restroom saying I was Mario.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay, explain that. We
need a story.
We were in West Hollywood. No, I was with her when she did this. You were there that night, too.
I'm not always.
I was with her that night.
I was waiting for Rigo on the other side.
Rigo was our brother, and he was
Celebrating
his birthday, and he was in the men's restroom, and Maria...
He was really tipsy, to my defense, and I saw my brother going in the restroom, and he was very tipsy, where he was like swaying back and forth.
This is at the Abbey, by the way. This is at the Abbey. If anybody lives in LA or West Hollywood, you guys know about the Abbey.
So when I saw him, I walked over to the restroom, which divided into men's or women. Before that, rewind, I was standing in a long-ass woman line, and I told the bouncer, damn, that line is so short. The guys never have a line. And he was like, well, if you're a man, you go in there. So I started laughing. So when you
lowered your voice, like,
so when I was going for Rigo to help him out, the bouncer said, no. And I was like, no, I can use this restroom. And he was like, and then he told the other bouncer that had told me that earlier, like, hey, she's trying to use this restroom. Yeah. And he was like, let her. And then he was like, all right, what's your name? And I was like, Maria, because I'm like, he caught me off guard, and he was like, what? And I was like, Mario.
So, let me add it.
He couldn't even say nothing. So I tried to put a pep to my walk.
He said, no judgments. Hashtag no judgment.
I'm walking in, guys walking out. Straight movie shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Rigo. And he's watching me go in there. And I'm like yelling at every stall because I see the guys up against the wall, you know, lined up doing what y'all do. Rigo. In the restroom. Nobody answering. So he's looking at me. So I had to go in the stall. But before I went in the stall, you know, you just like, oh, boy.
You took a look? You were looking? You were looking?
Yes. Like, I was like, oh, shit.
You are crazy.
So I went in the stall. I acted like I was peeing standing up. I don't know why. It's not like it mattered at that point. So then I got on top of the stall, like kind of, and the man was like, still, like he was just like making sure, like, is she really going in here for this? And then I said, just fuck it. Like, he's not, I don't know where he's at. So when I was walking out, Regal was swaying to wash his hands.
And he's all day. He's got
so then I go behind him, and he's like, I said, Regal. And he was like, hey, what are you? I said, shut up. I'm Mario right now. I'm Mario.
I'm Mario.
I was like, what the fuck?
He's like, I'm too drunk for this right now.
He washed his hands, and I walked down, and he'll never forget. Yeah, he still this day.
Oh, my God.
You did it. You were down.
Girl,
Kelvin said you got free peeks in. That's what happened.
I wish I did. Y'all be standing real close to that wall. I didn't even try.
Keith was also in the comments. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Keith.
Mr. Good News himself. He kind of let out a little secret out of the bag. I guess we'll say it since you said it in our chat box. But he says the Good News Espanol coming soon.
Yeah.
So,
alístense.
I can't tell you guys too much information, but just know the Good News in Espanol is coming soon. That's all I'm going to say. And Híjole is in the chat box too.
Hey, Híjole.
Hey.
Bring some micheladas this way.
We're actually still supposed to have our michelada party.
Oh, yeah. Cozy.
So that'll be soon.
Was it for Cozy?
Once Cozy gets better, then we'll have it. And then Kelvin said, you got to protect the meat.
Standing close to the wall.
Is that what happens?
She's just not taking pictures, y'all.
What happens in the bathrooms that you got to protect the meat, Kelvin?
They be peeing over. They be talking. I'm assuming that they act like they're having conversation and then kind of give that down look.
Oh, my God.
But you know what? Different topic, but did they have doors between? Did they have like doors between the urinals?
The dividers. The dividers.
It's just the urinals.
Oh, hell nah.
I couldn't even do it.
I'm not popping a squat next to somebody. Like, you shouldn't have to either.
He said, yes, creeps be looking.
Oh, my God.
True. Hey, but you could be looking, but you can't be touching.
Hey. All right. Maria, since you answered it, you didn't have to answer, but you answered it, Mario. Who's your question for, and what's your question? Are you ready?
Yes. I'm gonna say Jackie.
Give her a good one. You've been waiting your whole life.
Yes, girl, because I know you freaky.
You know
give her
nothing.
Give her a good one.
You know nothing.
Vonnie knows, and she be telling me stories.
Oh, my God. Vonnie doesn't know.
What is your freakiest position that you have done?
Oh. I think you took my question. No, you didn't. To be honest, okay, I'm gonna answer this. Upside down.
Upside down.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was in the chat box like, wait, what? Hold up.
Upside down. Yeah, I was upside down.
Oh, well,
I mean, I'm trying to think the other way around. I'm like,
no, you could make the other way work.
Yes.
You just need some,
Yeah.
strong handstand.
That's what you had.
I sure did, but yeah, that's mine.
So did you go up and down or back and forth?
I'm upside down, so that would have been difficult, I believe. Hey, we're saying too much right now.
Kelvin said, come on, upside down.
Oh, my God. He said, put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. That's right. Hey. Yeah, we're crazy. Oh, that's the wrong one. I meant to do that one. Okay. All right. So I guess it's my turn. I guess I'm asking Mari.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm in the mood for lying.
No, you gotta have fun. We're being honest. You gotta be honest. All right. What's the freakiest thing a partner has asked you to do during sex?
Oh, damn. The freakiest thing a partner has asked me to do during sex.
This is kind of basing off our last show where, we talked about people having a fetish for like pooping and peeing on you.
I'm trying to think about that.
You better not. You get it.
I think. Dang.
Turn your mic that way.
I feel like, down. You know what? I know people will be listening. I'm just gonna take this shot.
Maria!
I swear I'm at a baby shower. I like that.
Sorry, y'all. My mama listens sometimes.
Oh my God. Well, my mom listens too, and I still answer.
Your mom's down though. Your mom's down.
My mom called last show, just
Yeah.
FYI, and it was our craziest
Topic
topic
yet. It's
ever.
about
And
sex.
she called. Yeah. Well, that's it. I think we did a pretty good job with that one.
I think we did good. I think that for
Yay.
us holding it down for game time, it was a good one.
Kosi's on here. Hey, Kosi.
Kosi, you on a lot of drugs right now. What you
You
typing?
see what she said?
No, what
Just
did she-
answer your question.
She put you out.
Hell nah, Kosi. You answer the question.
Okay, Kosi, put it on the. What you want to ask? Kosi?
Kosi, what is the freakiest thing a partner has ever asked you to do?
Yeah. Come on, Kosi.
Please don't write 6 paragraphs explaining.
She's going to give us the thorough.
She's gonna
story.
include pictures.
Oh, my God. Don't do that. Kosi, don't do it.
She put LOL while I'm typing.
Oh, my God. That's right.
Kosi, see, same thing.
Is she going to say something? I don't know. I just have to read it later. Well, that pretty much sums up.
Let's wrap it up, y'all, before they
Game
try to get more
night.
questions out of us.
Right. They really do. They really do. I see Kelvin. He wants to know what you were thinking over there. What are they typing? Oh, my God. I'm not. All right. Hold on.
She's thinking.
I don't know why our YouTube is being slow right now.
YouTube?
Yeah. Maybe I should turn the way off.
We go from our
All right, that's that end game. And we're off to the next segment,
Yay.
which is Mari's Minute. Hold on, I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi.
And it will be Mari's minute today.
Kosi's not here to see you're okay if you go a couple seconds.
See, I'm gonna make you proud, Kosi. You'll be under.
Saw that? He said,
I just turned the Wi-Fi off.
my phone was right here, so
Maybe that was it, yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. For Mari's Minuto, it is going to be a quick round of things that have happened this week in the news. It was Equal Pay Day on the 2nd of April, which of course celebrates women and men having the same pay opportunity. And according to a law passed in 1963, the Equal Pay Act, women and men should be paid the same for doing the exact same position. Although we are living in 2019, and that still stands to not be true. So continue to push, continue to strive, continue to demand for your own work and the level that you deserve. Also in this week, measles, y'all. Measles are making a comeback. It is not okay. We've been vaccinated. So there's a huge movement and debate between the non-vaccinated people who, of course, have their own crockpot theories. And then the actual 390 people in 15 states that have gotten measles this month. Measles, by the way, people, are eradicated from the face of the earth. So the fact that 350 people now have them is insane. So get your vaccines, get your kids vaccinated, make sure that you are safe and aware. Other news, North Korea, it's always been a crazy topic with North Korea, but their people right now are facing food shortages, much like in Venezuela. The people are actually low on food and really struggling to make a way to feed all its citizens. So just keeping them in our thoughts, because sometimes, there's not a way for us to impede their political parties, but we can continue to push for equality and really what they deserve. Another big thing in the news this week is that the Trump administration has a lot of problems going on in Alabama. One huge case in Alabama is that 24 men have actually been killed in the prison in Alabama since 2015. Many sexual assaults have taken place, and there's been so many multiple lawsuits filed against this prison, and nothing has ever been done. And it isn't until this year that the Department of Justice, the DOJ, is actually taking initiative to start to investigate this situation and interview the people that work there and look into these accusations, because there's clear proof that sexual abuse has been happening on the part of, yes, between prisoners, but more likely that it's the employers to these prisoners. So let's just continue to work to make sure that this is not happening. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Make sure you're getting out there to vote. Thoughts and prayers can only do so much. We just got to put in this work. There's a lot going on this week, y'all. And that's been Mari's Minuto.
That's crazy. I don't know why people are so surprised.
No.
This has been happening in the jails for such a long time.
Yeah. But
condone
it's never been prosecuted.
And not condone.
Yeah. Never been prosecuted.
That's crazy.
So Kelvin's in the box, and he says he's not getting those damn shots. So what?
You better get those.
But honestly, I've never gotten the flu shot. Well, within the last 3 years.
Yeah, but you know what? The flu is different in that it's like it's not going to kill you. Measles, my friend, will kill you. There is really, I mean, they can get treatment, but the point of a vaccine is that you never get it. It's like polio. It's like a lot of other diseases that you get when you're a baby. You get that vaccine, so we don't have it on the face of the planet. And because people are so, quote unquote, anti-vaccinations, which is ridiculous, they are not only putting their own children at risk, they are putting other children at risk, because it's not just about your kid getting measles. It's the fact that your kid is not vaccinated and could give those diseases to kids that are vaccinated. That's what's wrong. People that are anti-vaccine, that's fine. Keep your child and yourself locked up in your house. Don't come out into the public with your diseases that we already eradicated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I agree.
I mean, with vaccines, I understand, but like the flu shot, I don't do the flu shot.
I feel like that's
just I don't know. It's just crazy to me that they give me the flu, so I won't get the flu again. I don't trust that.
I've never seen that.
You don't get the flu every time.
Yeah.
But they say they're putting pretty much the flu, whatever. I don't know much about the terminologies, but they're putting it back into your body to strengthen your immune system. So when it does come, it'll fight against it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if it comes, I'll handle it. Like I'll take care of it right away.
Yeah. Sometimes though I do. Some people are like, when I get the flu, and sometimes I've been sick with the flu for weeks. Yeah. Like maybe one time it was like 3 months, which eventually turned into pneumonia. But anyways, when it was the flu, people were like, "Oh, did you flu shot?" And I would say no. And they're like, "Well, that's why." And I'm like, "Damn,
no, that's not." I
never thought about it, but I also get scared because I think like you, like, "Oh, I don't want to get the flu shot because I'm healthy. I don't want to get the flu."
Just stay high in vitamin C and the rubber vegetables.
That's what it is, though. It's
your body high, and stress
does a lot to the body.
Yes.
We just got to take care of ourselves, people.
That's it.
But babe, as far as polio and measles, y'all better get those damn vaccines.
Right.
You don't have to get the flu shot. That's not going to life or death. But measles, polio, life or death, y'all.
I get it.
All right. Well, that marks Mari's Minute. Thank you for that, Mari.
Yes. Stay informed.
Ron, are you counting Mari's minutes? He said 2 minutes.
Damn. Wait, Ron, 120 seconds, or you trying to round up? Don't do me like that.
Hey, Ron.
That's hilarious. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's topic. We're going to have, hold on. Let me pull up my script.
Set us up tonight.
I don't want to jump the gun. So tonight's topic is current events, things that have been really heavy in this week. One being, of course, remembering Nipsey Hussle, who he was, what he represented, and just kind of giving our thoughts and our feels about the situation. Because I know it's unsettling still for a lot of people, and grieving for death is just hard in general. So it's like one of the ways to help with that is to talk about it. But before we jump into the Nipsey Hussle topic, we're gonna go ahead and talk about Joe Biden and his inappropriate touching. Yes, he is in the news currently for touching women
and in the GIFs, or the memes,
and men inappropriately, and the memes are going crazy right now. So I definitely want to share information before you guys share your thoughts about this situation. I kind of want to give you both sides of it.
What's happening? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you information. Hold on, I got a text real quick from the boss, and I got to see what's going on. Hopefully,
have we been on air? Can y'all hear us?
No, they hear us.
Yeah, that's true.
It says somebody whose phone is live, but I don't think anybody's live right now. Yeah. Okay, I just took us off Wi-Fi, so we should be okay. So first topic is Joe Biden and his inappropriate touching. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you really quick what's going on. So Lucy Flores is a Nevada state legislator who has come forward and accused former Vice President Joe Biden of inappropriately touching and kissing her at a campaign stop in 2014. The accusation against Biden comes as he is considering a bid for president in 2020 for running for president for 2020. He is expected to announce his decision as soon as I guess April, so it should be coming soon if he's going to be running. So I think with all this going on, he's going to announce it. So do you think I don't know, do you know the whole story yet?
You know what, I'm going to pretend like I don't because I think it's going to help our conversation. But just what you have told me as far as like, you know, this happened in 2014, but this is happening when he's going to put in his presidency bid. I think it's interesting that anyone should have anything to say, consider we elected a man who literally said, I'm going to grab her by the pussy, who literally has had people come out and say he's harassed them, has sexually groped them, and he still got elected. So if y'all are really trying to come for Joe Biden because he smells people's hair or touches their shoulders, like nah.
Well, I mean, if you're comparing it to that, of course, it's not as extreme.
Right.
But it still could be considered...
It's still
like
definitely an
crossing
offense.
the line.
Yeah.
So just to kind of give you a heads up, I actually started following this lady before this news even.
Oh, wow.
So I went to one of I was invited from by a friend to this like panel of Latina women, and there was 3 different people on there. One of them was like a filmmaker, like a director. The other two were starting like their own like business and like non-profit things. And she was the host of the event. And she actually started her own thing called, I think, Loose Collection with her and her 2 friends. And their whole shirts all say Alpha Latina. So they represent, like, women to, you know, to speak up if you're not getting paid enough.
Yeah.
And I really love what they were about. So that's why I started following her and her brand. Yeah. And I thought, like, oh, she's doing really good. And she was in Nevada. She was legislative and stuff. So she was, like, a role model that I was not looking up to, but like I was like, she's Latina, she's in politics, she believes in, you know, what I believe in. And so I was like following her. And then when this story broke, I was like, wait, what? So I was like a little confused, and I had to do more research on it because I met her. I don't know her, I just met her, and I feel like
and just what she stands for and all that.
She doesn't, to me, I feel like she doesn't come with those intentions that she's doing it for clout. And I know that in there, in the interview though, she did say that she is like for Bernie Sanders, and because when she decided to come out because she heard that he was, you know,
potentially going to become a president.
Thinking of running. So she's like, oh, if you're going to run for president, then here are all the facts. So I don't think she's doing it for clout chasing or just to get attention, because she already does a lot of, like, you know, she's in the political party for sure. So I'm going to play you guys a clip on her interview that she did, I believe, with CNN, and explaining a little bit about it.
And very unexpectedly and out of nowhere, I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head. And that in and of itself might not sound like it's a very serious thing. That in and of itself might sound like it was innocent and well-intentioned. But in the context of it, as a person that had absolutely no relationship with him afterwards, as a candidate who was preparing to make my case for why I should be elected the second in command of that state, to have the vice president of the United States do that to me so unexpectedly and just kind of out of nowhere. It was just shocking. It was shocking because you don't expect that kind of intimate behavior. You don't expect that kind of intimacy from someone so powerful and someone.
Yeah. So pretty much, Lucy Flores also states, this is kind of in her statement, I want this to be a bigger discussion on how there is no accountability structure within our political space, either for instances in which women feel that there was inappropriate behavior or more serious instances as allegations of sexual assault, etc. We are not protected in politics. Frankly, on a much larger scale, we also need to have a conversation about powerful men feeling that they have the right to invade a woman's space. If we don't want you to touch us, then don't touch us. If there isn't a personal relationship, if there isn't a history there, if this is inappropriate, do not touch us. There needs to be a level of accountability in our political system, and also just generally speaking, now as we move forward, women should have agency in their own personal space and on their own bodies. So what are your thoughts so far about that? Just hearing her side of the story. Because I'm going to give Joe Biden his
I think that she definitely, but she makes a good point because, and I'm just going to make a quick connection. I teach fifth grade. My fifth graders had their last puberty talk today. We touched on consent. They were asked, what do you think consent is? Blah, blah, blah. So the person in charge of the group said, if somebody asks you if they can touch you or kiss you and you say no, do they have the right to do it? And the kids were like, no. And then she's like, good. So what if they don't even ask you? What if you don't say anything and they do it anyways? do they have the right to kiss you if you don't respond? And some of the kids were like, yeah, because you didn't say anything. And some of the kids were like, no, because I never said yes. So even as young as 5th grade, girls, women are not even sure or raised in the environment to know that if you don't say anything, that is not a yes.
Right.
That is not a consent. If I don't say anything to you, bro, first of all, you didn't even ask me. Second of all, it didn't even matter if you did, because you know in your head you were going to invade my space anyways.
Right.
So I think the big issue here is that he somehow, as a man in this powerful position, felt like it was acceptable to come and kiss and touch this woman who he had no relationship with. It is not his culture. He is not a Latino. He can't come over to people and hug them and kiss them. That's not his culture. Right. So for him to think that he could do that and then did it, even if it was quote unquote without malice, it doesn't matter. Like, what about who you are as a human being makes you think that it's acceptable to go up to other women and just touch them?
Right. So did you want to say something, Maria?
Yeah, I do. So my mom once said, you live how you judge. And I did watch his, and I know Jackie's going to come and let him speak and say his piece. But
yes, Joe Biden is coming to the good news. And
I feel, that's why I laughed at you when you said that. I feel that he is just that, like, he meant no malintentions in it. And he did just go because she was running for whatever she was running for. She was sitting there. He probably just felt the need, like, hey, like, I support you. Maybe she could have misinterpreted. Like, some people don't like their bubble. Like, some people love for other people to respect their bubble space. Don't pass that line. Don't touch me. If she felt uncomfortable and she's that strong, you know, like, outspoken Latina, she should have, like, moved over and said, hey, Mr. Biden, like, I don't like to be touched or something. Like, speak up at that moment. Yeah. Don't wait years later, because he's been in the limelight forever. Like, I really did research. When you hit me up, I watched a lot of videos. I see that. He's been in, and somebody said a true fact. He's been in the limelight for such a long time. Why wait till the elections are coming up to want to say something? Who's paying you? Who's buying you out? Like, if you that strong Latina like me, like, you know, if somebody comes into my bubble space and I need you to back up. You know what I mean? Like, Mr. Biden, I know who you are. Please, like, you know, I don't like nobody touching me or smelling my damn hair. But like, come on.
As much as you're right, she is strong Latina. We are all strong. We can say, hey, back up. My thing is, why do I even have to tell you to respect my space?
Okay.
And
wait,
why is it acceptable?
No, let me just finish
but I want to play this video because I know it's going to go with it. Yeah. So I know really quick in the comments, Maria, I want you to read some of their comments that they're saying in there.
Preach, Maria. Thank you, Bison. Okay.
That's the only one.
That's it. Right. Nobody else gets anything.
No, Cynthia said, oh, Maria, damn right. She's a Republican, which I don't think so, because I just looked her up right now as Jackie brought her up. She's actually a Democrat.
Yeah, I think she's a Democrat.
So she's a Democrat. Was she paid? Who knows? I'd like to find out. But you know what? Like Granny said, the truth always comes out to the light. So we will find out more stories, I'm sure, within weeks. At Cynthia, you telling Cynthia 100. But of course, like my computer
so with that all being said, let me play you Joe Biden's response after being questioned in the media, and more. Actually, she's one, and there's other women, like maybe like a handful.
There's pictures, y'all,
that have stepped forward. Well, even some in the pictures they're siding with Joe. They're like, so yeah. So even the ones in the picture, I know what picture you're talking about. They're friends, and she actually took
there's multiple pictures that he's doing.
Yeah. But the one that's really out there, the husband was talking, and she was in the back. Anyways, there's some people, women that he's pictured with, that are defending him. Other women, they're not defending him, and they're speaking like Lucy. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you the video of Joe Biden speaking on his behalf.
And I'll always be direct with you, but today I want to talk about just as a support and encouragement I've met women and men and made them uncomfortable. I always try to be, in my career, always try to make a human connection. That's my responsibility. I shake hands, I hug people. I got in my shoulders and said, you can do that. And whether women, men, young, old, it's the way I've always been. It's the way I've tried to show I care about them and I'm listening. And over the years, knowing what...
So I'm going to stop that right there. I'm going to play another part, too. But I see that Paisa made a good point. Yeah, he says, I don't think... he could care less about her. He was just trying to make it seem like he knew her on a personal level. And that's true, and that's kind of what he stated in his first comment, saying that that's his personality, that's how he shows that he cares, because he genuinely cares. But he also said to any women and men that I made feel uncomfortable, because he doesn't only do this to women, he actually grabs them on the shoulders to men as well. So he admits that he's very touchy-feely, but it's his way to show like that he's there for them as support. So that's what he's saying in this interview, or not interview, I'm sorry, this is a video that he posted on his Twitter as a response to what Lucy was saying. And then I'm going to God, I got to rewind it. There we go. Here we go.
I worked my whole life to empower women. I worked my whole life to prevent abuse. I've written, and so the idea that I can't adjust to the fact that personal space is important, more important than it's ever been, is just not thinkable. I will.
Let's talk all about this. I've got with me CNN Chief.
Oh, okay. So,
I think he does a good point of saying, like, you know, he's kind of bringing up all the work he has done. Like, I am pro this. You know, I am for women. I'm for like the space, the respect, all that. So I can see where he's coming from, and just thinking about how Paisa articulated that point, like I could see that.
Like, I want to remind you, like, so the location of where they were at when this happened, he went because she invited him. So it was for her campaign. And I remember she saying that Eva Longoria was there, and Eva Longoria was standing in front of her, and Joe Biden was behind her. And then that's when that incident happened. Yeah. I also want to say that former Vice President Biden believes that Ms. Flores has every right to share her own recollection and reflections. And that is a change for better in our society, that she has the opportunity to do so. So in that statement that he put out there as well.
That's
a few
big.
Other politicians and celebrities are supporting Joe Biden, one being Whoopi Goldberg. And she stated on her show, I believe on The View.
She's on The View. No?
Yeah, she's on The View on her show.
Whoopi, sorry, I haven't kept up with you.
So Whoopi, who's usually, you know, like, well, she still is, but she is, you know, she says, we all know Joe Biden. He's been here. I remember when I met him in Florida before. He was vice president, and he was so friendly. He's a close talker. He comes up right to your face. So he talks Seems close. Like he touches, she goes, he touches, period. That's what he likes. And I feel it would be really unfortunate if we got rid of everybody who's just as an affectionate kind of person. Those are nice people too, end quote. And then she also says later on, actually before she said that, she goes, but I also want to say, I want women to get to the place where they can say, hey, you just made me feel uncomfortable. This is where you have to tiptoe. This is the idea where you have to tiptoe away from this or carry it. You do not have to carry it. Some people, if they make you uncomfortable, tell them. So that's where Whoopi was coming from, like saying like, okay, she has every right to, you know, feel that way, but she should have said it right there and there. And I will tell you this, Whoopi, not everybody is outspoken as you, as myself, even the women in this room. I've met many women who are scared to speak up. So not every woman speaks up, but that's what Whoopi was trying to say, is like, just if you feel uncomfortable, speak up. Say, I kind of don't like that, or don't touch me in that way. Yeah. And even if you do come off rude, at least you're speaking up for yourself, and you're saying, you know, I used to work at a high school, and I'm also a very affectionate person. I love hugging. I love, you know, just like the whole thing, like putting hands on the shoulder. I'm that type of person. I like high fives. I like just that. I'm a touchy-feely person. So when I worked at a high school, I remember that this girl, she didn't like being hugged, and she would always remind people, her friends too. She would be like, don't hug me. Like, she would do it in a playful way, but when like she would do things, because she was an athlete, she got good grades, and I would be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, B, like, you did it. And I would like want to give her a hug, but she'd be like, oh, please don't hug me. And I would respect that, and I wouldn't hug her. But not everybody speaks up like that. Right. So there are people in this world that do not like being touched. Yeah. And we have to respect that. And we can't say what she was feeling wasn't, because it was how she felt. So she felt uncomfortable. Yeah. She felt that he touched her, and maybe she didn't like it. Maybe, she invited him because he is the former vice president, or the vice president at that time. But, you know, like, I invited you because I know who you are, but I don't know you like that. We're not at that relationship. Some people, it has to grow. It has to become more like on a level where, like, you guys connected, and then they trust you, and then they put their guard down. They're like, oh, okay, you can hug me. But you can't just right away, think that everybody likes that, to be hugged and touched.
And I think what more importantly, you're right. I think as adults, as cognizant, intelligent adults, and more so as a vice president at that time, I think it's your responsibility to not only know that other people have different ways of receiving affection, but it is your job to just be on guard and to not be crossing lines. Like,
right.
You know, and on top of that, and it's not about women not have saying something in that moment. It's more like she even stated, there is no safe space in politics to do that, because I think if she had done something in that moment when he was just quote unquote there to support her, like, I think it would have it would have created a different trajectory of her career had she called him out in that moment, in that space, like whatever,
or pulled him aside or something.
I think it would have changed her career. Maybe not totally, but it would have done something, because she would have automatically been perceived as negative, whatever. The way the women are always perceived when we say something that we don't like, right? Men always want to come into our spaces and say like, oh, it was just a hug. I just had good intentions. This, like, that is not the point. I'm not here to say that you're a bad human being. I'm here to tell you that my space is more important than your BS reason to invade it.
Yeah. I agree with you for sure. And I think he understands that, which is why he put out this video and he said that, like,
and it's good.
I wasn't aware that I made people feel uncomfortable, but now that I'm aware, I'm going to be more cautious of it.
And I like that he said, like, she has the right. Ownership. She has the right to say that. And I feel like our current president would have easily been like, oh, she's dumb. Oh, she's this.
Yeah. Get her ugly ass. Who would want her ass anyways?
And what's crazy is I'm reading some comments and people in the freaking comments are saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I would never hug her and this and that. Like, dude,
that's not what it's
about. And
actually,
she's a beautiful woman. Maybe she's not photogenic, but she's a beautiful woman. Yeah. I've met her in person.
All women are beautiful. Yes, all women deserve respect. Like, this is not the time to bring, because that's not the argument. That's not the debate. But I think that's where
I just hate that they're dragging her like that. But at the end of the day, you're right. Like, he owned it. He said, you know what? I didn't know you felt this way, but now I know. I'm going to make changes.
Yeah.
And so, like, I understand what we're saying is, like, it sucks that people have to change. But no, it's not that they're changing. It's like, they can still be touchy-feely with the people that they're comfortable with, the people that are comfortable with it and that allowed him to do it. But if you don't know, like, if you're meeting me for the first time, you don't have to get in my face. You don't have to put your hands on my shoulder. You don't have to kiss me. Like, let's establish a relationship and find out if it's okay with me before you do that.
And I think that's doesn't Joe Biden have daughters?
Right.
Like, nobody's going to come up behind them and smell their hair and kiss them on the head.
It is
like,
a little creepy. But the memes are hilarious on the internet.
Funny.
Oh,
but
my
I would say this, like, Joe had a very classy clap back to the president.
Yes.
So cute with his, like, little clap back.
Because we can understand definitely that Joe Biden does not have bad intention, because even with Barack Obama, he was touchy-feely, and they were just they had the bromance going. So that's just him as a person, I think. Yeah. The next question was, do we think it's going to hurt his presidential candidacy if he decides to run? I believe it's not going to, especially with the way he responded to this.
Yeah.
I just think, like, he is now aware, and this is a great example for everybody to be aware, and not just men, women too, especially. Like, I've done it before where I've to, like, touchy-feely. Like, I remember somebody that I know just recently, like maybe last year, a mutual friend was like, oh, he doesn't like hugs, because I was gonna hug him, and they were like, oh, he doesn't like hugs. And this is like a 40-year-old man, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, and that was it. So it's just, be aware of it. Not everybody likes touchy-feely, not everybody likes to be touched, and we just have to respect people's personal space. And I mean, it's not a bad thing. I know people are gonna be like, the whole Me Too. It's like, no, this has nothing to do with the Me Too movement. It's just respecting what you want, and that's it.
Yeah. It's just about space. Everybody, regardless of gender, deserves, like, space, and it's not women against men or men against women. It's not any of those things people are trying to turn. It's not that narrative at all. It's just like, you as a position of power have the responsibility to make sure people around you feel respected, and you should know, walking up into people's space, that's not going to be it.
Right. Okay. Well, that ends the first topic. The first half of today's topic.
Woo woo. We did it. We're touching on politics, ladies' night.
I see the chat box is popping. Maria, what's going on?
Are y'all mad? Are y'all mad at me?
Kosi said, yeah, it's coming down to personal space. So if homegirl wants space, she can stand in the corner. What
No,
the hell, Kosi?
Kosi.
No, wait a minute.
Kosi, you just had a surgery. We're going to give you a pass.
She's on drugs. She's highly medicated right now. She's not.
If she wants
fully
personal
there.
space, she has to ask for it. She has to let it be known. People do not know
necessarily.
I think you have to.
You have to
I
ask.
think your birthright
Yeah,
is respected
respect.
space.
Okay, but we're not all raised the same. Some people are raised kumbaya-ish.
I am too, and it's our culture to kiss
I thought we
people.
ended this topic.
But
yes, but I'm gonna end up with this.
I ain't
I'm
gonna-
end it with this, and I don't want you guys to talk about me later. I'm gonna end it with this.
Can you get in the mic? You're not in the mic.
My assistant principal, and I'm not gonna say what school because she will know who I'm talking about if she is listening to me right now, which I don't think she is.
Oh my
But
God.
she was
Disclaimers.
very touchy-feely. She was like that type of girl that you think you're going in for a hug, and you'd actually be going in for like a minute, 2 minutes, and you're just standing there in the quiet, like,
What
oh my
the-
God. She's just kumbaya like that. And so we would have meetings. She knows that not everybody want to be touched, so she did a lot of, like, when she would want to applaud or she would want to hug you, she would do a lot of hand clapping. And she was just brought up like that. It was just a lot of love given to her. So she felt that everybody was like that.
Yeah.
And that's just how some of us are raised. Nothing wrong with that. But if you are that person that wants your space, you have to voice it and you have to let people know, because there are people that love to be touched and hugged and praised and feel the energy, as they call it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do think that, yes, you should ask, can I hug you? Even though my 10-year-old thinks like, no, like, Mom, did my dad, because she goes to Tate, and she was like, did my dad ask you if he could kiss you? Yes.
Yeah, they learned about consent.
Yes.
Yeah.
He asked me if he could kiss me. Stop lying, Mom. Yes, he did. What'd you say? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
She said, but if the moment feels right, what do you know about if the moment
Yeah, we hear
feels
what
right?
the
This is what
moment-
the kids are talking about. Like, sometimes you don't ask. So,
That's a consensual agreement, though.
if I get it, but if you have to say something. So Jackie's wrapping me up.
Yes,
see
I wrapped
Kosi
up the-
behind her. I know, but I didn't get to say my piece, so I'm just saying, kumbaya, y'all.
Dear Lord, I forgot it's Maria's world and we're just living in it. So let me
learning.
go ahead and ring the bell again because we ended this.
Woo! Yes, they are. Paisa.
Ending
They're
the
always
first
heated.
topic to the first one. Goodness gracious. Now we're going to jump into our second topic of tonight's show, which is
one and
Nipsey
only.
Hussle. That's
Yes.
right, Nipsey Hussle.
I
Hold
already
on.
started crying.
Why are you? Don't cry.
I think it's heavy on everybody's heart, but I think it just hits home for a lot of us in the neighborhood.
To be honest,
in
it
LA.
does feel really.
It's different.
It feels different in
A
LA.
lot of
Like
people said
LA
that.
is really
Yeah.
like gloomy right
Yeah.
now. Isn't that crazy?
Like Monday and
Yes.
Tuesday were hard. Monday and Tuesday was like everybody at work, everybody on me, like all the kids. Like it was boom. It was interesting.
The radio, TV, everywhere.
It was crazy to see, and I think we'll get into it, but it's just, man, one life, such an impact.
yeah, it's
I
crazy.
wish he was like a cat and had 9.
Yeah,
Like, okay, Nipsey.
Well,
like,
he was.
you know,
He's been
you
shot
know,
at before, hasn't he?
he's been shot at, but I don't think he was
Yeah.
actually shot.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
sure? I could have sworn he. Maybe I. Read
I know
that
he
wrong.
was shot at, but I don't know that he was actually shot. But that's, gun violence. We got to touch on that topic too, because that's really what we're leading into.
I was trying to find the video, but this internet is killing me. I cannot stand right
We were
now.
gonna play you all some of his amazing music. I mean, even if you're not a fan of his music, and you just gotta go look up those lyrics, y'all.
I had to play that for my phone because the internet. You see, this is like tripping. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Nipsey Hussle. Just give you an idea. If you don't know who Nipsey Hussle is, you have to Google it. But let me go ahead and give you some information. Nipsey Hussle was more than just a Grammy-nominated rapper. He was a beacon of hope for this city, South Central LA. He was an entrepreneur. He was a visionary, an advocate. Yes, he was in a gang. He talked about it a lot in his music, but it just showed it's like his circumstances of where he came from. He was, a partner, and he was he's a father. And I'm sure if you ask those close to him, he was much more.
Yeah.
He literally poured his heart and soul into his city, trying to improve it in many ways. He brought a lot of hope and change into his community. Nipsey could have gone Hollywood and left it all behind him, but that wasn't who he was. He is the type of person to give a homeless man a job cleaning his store parking lot, to give kids in his community new shoes, or pay for funeral fees for those who couldn't afford to bury their loved ones. He also, which is within his community, he also had close friends working in a shop who were felons and couldn't find a job elsewhere. Nipsey was all action. And on Sunday, March 31st, 2019, he was shot and killed in front of his clothing store, the Marathon Agency, where the shooter had shaken his hand moments before. The shooter, Eric Holder, who is known from the neighborhood, is the suspect that they have in hand right now. I don't want to say he is a shooter, but I'm pretty sure, like, yes, he is, but, you know, because it's still a trial, you know, I can't say he's the killer, but, I mean, we all kind of know.
Yeah.
The sad part is the next day on Monday, Nipsey was supposed to meet with the LAPD to discuss ways to combat gang violence. Yeah. And even with his absence, the meeting still went on. So Nipsey, for those in LA, already know who this guy is. Like, if you're in LA, you know who Nipsey Hussle is. I personally didn't really listen to his music, but I knew who he was. Just because I live in LA, I'm here. I grew up in Inglewood and stuff, so I knew who Nipsey Hussle was. I didn't listen to his music much. I'm not gonna try to lie and be like, oh, I was a huge fan ever since. You know, no, that's not me. I'm gonna be honest. But I will say, Keith, you know, Keith, that's his second favorite rapper. Lil Wayne is his first. And Nipsey was always in our conversations. Like, when we're building the good news, when we were creating the show, when we were building the station, he was really referred to a lot by Keith in our conversations. And just the way that he moved, his mentality, how he thought, it was just always brought up. So I always knew who Nipsey Hussle was. Everybody here in LA knows who he is. He's done so much. And after his death, a lot of us have realized how much he's really done for his community. And, you know, it's unfortunate that he was taken away from us at the age of 33. Yeah. And it's really sad. LA is still feeling this pain. And it's not just people in the city. I mean, it's city people in the that work in the city, like the LAPD, like the sheriff, even the mayor, Eric Garcetti, I think it's pronounced, but they all pretty much have felt this because they knew he was really trying to make a difference for his community. And I think
we just needed him.
We definitely did. And he wasn't just all talk for his music. Like, he literally was the action. He was starting this marathon, and I really hope it continues. But I don't want to talk about his murder because it's already sad, and we can talk a little bit about it, but I want to talk about more so what he represented for LA.
Yeah.
So I know that this really hit hard for you, Madi. I know that you want to get some stuff off your chest. I'll give you the floor.
I was like, oh, starts crying. I think, well, there's this quote, and they interviewed him in the LA Times just last year talking about that. And in a lot of the interviews that you've heard in social media, they ask him, like, you know, what's next for you? What's your biggest dream? Like, when is it enough? Like, what are you striving for? And he has this quote, and he says, growing up the kid, I was looking for somebody, not to give me anything, someone that was creating the potential for change and that had an agenda outside of their own self-interest. And I think to come from the community from here and to want to build and to want to stay and to want to create change is powerful. I think that it's commendable. And I think when he was alive, people really revered him, people respected him, but there wasn't much talk about him because we felt like he was doing the work. Like, we're good. He's doing it. And it isn't until his passing that we realized, like, shit, we needed him because we're not doing it.
Right.
We support him. We throw him love. We throw him like vibes, but we weren't doing what he was doing day in and day out. Of course, was outside the music industry, outside the Marathon clothing store. He owned multiple businesses, the fish market, a barber shop. He launched a co-working space for a STEM center for the kids in that neighborhood in South Los Angeles, in the Crenshaw neighborhood, so that they can have access to the things that they needed in this technological revolution that's happening. And aside from that, like, he would reach out to the students. Like, he would buy shoes for people in the neighborhood. He would buy shoes for kids at school. So he was much more than just a man of music in that industry. He was, like you said, a beacon of hope. And I think, especially for my kids at school, because I work in South Central, like, he really represented what it meant to succeed and come back. I get emotional, y'all, but
I know.
I think he just meant so much to people, and it's for us to continue. I think it brings a lot of peace to my heart to know that he even said that, like, it's not about what you can get from life, because in that sense we will always be unfulfilled. It's about what we can give. And I think that's dope. I think that we can follow by example. And I feel like we just have to always be thankful that somebody with his power position, with his money, with his fame, with everything, was always about that. Was about doing change, was not about condemning people. He was not glorifying the gang world. He was even calling for like education to end ignorance, to end gun violence, to end what was happening in his community consistently, because he was a young 33-year-old, and there's still people much younger than him suffering the consequences of systemically what happens to these neighborhoods. And so his passing is sad, but in a way it just brings so much to light what he has done and has always stood for. And I just hope that continues, and I hope that people feel like, it's not the end. We shouldn't be discouraged, because there is that narrative right now, right, where it's like, to be upset at the hood or the neighborhoods or what's happening, like to feel like, man, what's the point? I've seen a lot of that in comments and on the internet, like, the moral of the story is don't go back to the hood. And I think that's really disheartening. And I feel like that's not what he stood for. That's not at all what he continuously tried to do. He was trying to better these communities for everyone. And it wasn't about leaving them. It was about progress.
I want to go and jump into the chat box. I see a lot of you guys in there. Keith is in there. He says, we'll forever talk about him. And I appreciate that, Keith. I really learned a lot about him before this incident. Paisa Lives Matter says, a week ago today, I wonder how many people really knew what he was doing. And to be honest, I don't think a lot of people did. Yeah. But I want to say this. I really appreciate how the media is portraying him. Yeah. Not just as a rapper, not just as a gang member, not just as another, black man that was killed in the hood, but who he was for the hood. Yeah. And I want to, condemn definitely the news for portraying him that. He says, God bless him and his family. Rest in peace, Nipsey. And Híjole says, change comes within. He preached it, but it starts with ourselves. Yeah. I agree. Mm-hmm. And Ron says, never heard of him till TMZ report. I don't think he ever toured Canada. I like rap tunes, but I'm not a follower of any specific singer. Yeah. And you shouldn't be. Like I said, Ron, I didn't really listen to his music much either, but I can definitely give respect to someone who is there for the community and is part of making the change and is adding value to it and wants to just improve it overall. So he was more than just a rapper. Like, I personally don't listen to his music, but I really appreciated who he was as a person. Yeah. With that being said, I want to play this video that Mari sent me. It's going to be on my phone because I couldn't find it on YouTube. But so if it sounds a little distant, it's because it's coming from my iPhone. But I'm going to try to put it up. Here we go.
I look at life like a marathon. More so than the physical side, the mental aspect.
Whoa, okay.
Mental aspect of being committed to something that challenges you. Throughout all the challenges this journey threw at me, I remember times when my faith, my commitment, it was all tested. Being raided by the police, and back and forth to jail, to my best friend being murdered, to earlier times catching the bus to the train for hours, just to use the studio for like 60 minutes. Everything around me was screaming, give up. The vision you got for your life is delusional. People like you don't even achieve on that level. The thing that kept me going boiled down to one question. Would you rather be at war with yourself and at peace with the world, or at peace with yourself and at war with the world?
Oh, man.
El Paisa, I think you bring up a good point. People are saying, like, you didn't know him a week ago, whatever. But I think it just, for me, it makes me really emotional because as somebody that teaches in this neighborhood, like, you see that not a lot of opportunities for growth. So when you have somebody that is there, that is showing you, like, it is possible to rise above the ghetto, to rise above those stigmas, to rise above the cage of being poor without opportunity, when you can rise above that and still be a good person, that is just amazing. That is beyond, like, this level of earth. Like, you're not just a normal person just getting by, going to your 9 to 5. It's not no 9 to 5 shit. This is, like, it's my life. Like, these people live here. These people are just looking to thrive here. He wasn't about, it was just, I think what he always said in a lot of interviews was, like, just mental peace,
Yeah.
like inner peace, spreading that peace, being good to people, being a good human being. And I feel like to be somebody that's part of an industry where it's like, fuck bitches get money, and for you to come up and say like, no, you just have to be at peace. You just got to keep trying. You just got to go for what you go for. He commended people who just wanted to go to school, people who just wanted to work, people.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to push this lifestyle of money and drugs and whatever. He was like, just be the best that you can be. Do what you love to do. And I think that resonates with a lot of people, regardless of what it is that your passion is in life. Like, you know, it's still worth it to continue. And I think it hits hard for me because I think about my kids, the kids that I teach, and I'm like, what is the point? You know,
before we started the show, we were having a conversation that you, I think every Friday have your like circles of community circles where you guys get to talk about anything. Talk a little bit about that, because you guys did bring up the situation that happened, because your school is in South LA. Yeah. It is on Slauson, and I don't want to say the other street for your safety, but it's on Slauson. You know, and you work, and so they're blocks away from where this happened, and a lot of the students. What grade are they in?
They're fifth graders.
Fifth graders, so they're about 10 years old. Mm-hmm. So 10-year-olds, and you having the discussion. Talk about it. How does that sound?
So we always talk about kind of what's on our mind, what's heavy on our hearts. And this week, of course, was Nipsey. The kids knew like there was a rapper that had been gunned down, and so we got into the conversation of, you know, what are your thoughts? And you know, this person that was doing so much for your community, he's gone. He was gunned down, and the kids. It was heartbreaking to see like their faces, like nobody was crying, nobody was scared, nobody was overwhelmed. Everybody was calm in the room. Mm-hmm. And one of my students, one of my female students, she said, you know, I just think it's sad that when we hear about this, we don't feel, we're not surprised, we're not scared. It's normal. It's normal for us to hear this type of news. And I think that was for me very heartbreaking to hear that children, because they're 10. So for me, I'm like, oh, you guys are woke. Like we have good conversations, but they are 10 years old. They have not even made it into a point in life where like they know what the hell is going on. But when they hear about violence like this, they're not fazed.
Yeah.
They're not afraid, but they're not fazed, and they don't see like they don't see another way, if that makes any sense. And not in the way that they're disheartened, they're not mad, they just think that this is it. This is the way of life.
And unfortunately, that week, which is a Sunday, that he passed away, that Nipsey Hussle passed away, Nipsey Hussle was the 11th killing of that week, who was shot and killed just that week.
11th homicide.
11th homicide of that week. He was the 11th person. And since that day... Yeah. Madi reported, I think you made the research, that
it's been an average of 15 gun violence victims a week in March alone. So in the South Los Angeles neighborhood, there's been 15 on average. So some weeks less than 15, some weeks more than 15 of gun violence victims. So not everyone was a fatality, but y'all, that's 15 a week for 4 weeks. That's 60 people a month in South Los Angeles alone that are victims of gun violence. Yeah. And none of those people made it to the news like Nipsey. None of their stories will ever be shared. And these kids are like, that's normal.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's funny that you say that, because yesterday, you know, I was talking to Corey and I was just like, so like sad. And I was like, that's crazy what's happening to Nipsey. And he was like, Maria, that's hood shit.
Yeah, it's true.
He was like, this shit happens every fucking day. And I said, I know, Corey, but I guess it's more of a eye opener, because this is somebody who tries to, who was changing the community. This is somebody who was putting money in, putting work in.
Yeah,
I'm not like minuting or you know, minimizing everybody else's death, but this one hit much more closer to home, because when you're doing good, you know, it's like a karma thing. Good is going to happen to you. Yeah.
And that's like, what we tell our kids, and that's what we tell ourselves.
Was this one of God's angels that he was like his thing had ended, like when he came here? Like I'm a true believer in that.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, it's crazy.
So it's definitely unfortunate, you know, but we definitely don't want to take away from the other people that were killed by gun violence.
Right.
But it was an eye-opener because of what he represented, of who he was to the community, of everything that he's done to the community.
Right.
And who it was from. Like, it wasn't even an enemy. It was somebody who was known by the neighborhood. They knew him,
He was his
which
friend.
is why. No, I won't say he's his friend.
I thought
No,
I
he
read
wasn't
a
his
report
friend.
that like they came up together or something.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
don't
heard.
think so, because of what other things that I've heard is that he told him not to come around anymore. I don't
No,
know
but
if
they had come up and
if
then
this
he
is
told them
true.
don't come anymore.
if this is true, because he was a snitch. I don't know if that's
Right.
true. This is what's in the media, that he came up to him and was like, "Hey, I'm a rapper too. I want to like," and Nipsey was like, "You know what? Don't come to my store anymore because you're a snitch." I don't know exactly the details. This is what I heard, but I'm just saying that's me, Mysterious Jax. But I just even if that is what happened, let's worst case scenario, and Nipsey, because we've seen him slap some people in public. Let's say he told him and he was like rude to him, like you like knowing how it is, like. That's just some petty shit for you to leave, come back with a gun and shoot at him. Like, you knowing what he's done for the community. Like, okay, if he embarrassed you, if he said some shit to you, like talk to him like a man, or like it just makes me angry that his first thing was like go grab a gun and kill him because he made me feel like inferior or less than or stupid or dumb. Like, let me go get a gun and kill him because I feel stupid for him telling me not to come back around.
And not just because he felt that way, but also, and we got to go take it back to the genesis of the community and what happens when you grow up there. It's like,
True.
That is the viable,
That's
easy go. It's not like, oh, let me call my lawyer then on you. Like, that's
Right.
not our community. Our community has long been infested with this sense of violence as necessary.
So I want to ask you guys, with all this being said, and us knowing what Nipsey has been doing for the community, do you think that the community will step up and keep the marathon going?
Damn. Yeah. I believe that wholeheartedly, and maybe not the community, because that's another thing that's important to see, is that like what Nipsey had done in his reach on people is because of who he was as far as the industry. Like, people respected that he was so rich but still willing to stay. And I think that if you and me and regular Joe Schmo from next door started doing things like this, we wouldn't have such a big impact because we don't have a platform. But I think that his death has sparked a lot of other really important players in the game. Diddy has said things.
Are they the community?
No.
Are they the community?
You're right, but they have the money and the capability of funding the things that he wanted.
But that's not the question. The question is
the community. But I think the community will rile behind that.
So just today I saw a post that somebody posted. I follow the hashtag Inglewood, and one of the pictures that came up was all of these different gangs that came together.
Yeah,
I think today to create a peace. What is it called?
It was a memorial. It was like a peace offering. Really.
And so everybody was there. Like
for how long?
2 hours. It was from 3 to 5. The vigil. They were doing a memorial,
and it was gangs from different gangs, like rival gangs. Like everybody came together, and they're some of them took a picture together, and they're all throwing the different gang signs up, and it's just and I think under there said like that's what they said, like I love unfortunately because of the circumstances, I love what it's doing. It's bringing us together. Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously we don't expect for it to be kumbaya, to be and perfect after, but at least it opens our eyes and our minds to let's be better.
Possible.
It could be possible. I mean,
huge eye opener.
And for how long we don't know, but let's keep it going. Let's keep what he was trying to do for our community going, and let's not let the news take over and portray us in a certain way. Like, let's continue this marathon and continue his legacy for many reasons, and it's sad that it had to come to the expense of his death, but it's something that we definitely have to think about. And you guys brought up another point that he was in his community and he stayed there. So Kosi, my producer, she did help me a little bit with this. She had labeled it crabs in a barrel. And she said, jealousy is definitely an issue here. We have someone who is an idol to many people and another who is proclaimed, quote unquote, a snitch that wishes for his fame. It brings up the notion of elevating our circle. Sometimes the people for us just actually want to beat us. And also, would it be like different if could you still fix the community without living in the community? Like, I know that you even mentioned it, Maria, like Nipsey staying in the community. If he wasn't here, would he have gotten shot? Like if he would have opened up his shop on Melrose, like most rappers do, like Tyga, he opened up his shop on Melrose. You know, like there's so many people that take their stuff and they move it out the hood, so it's like, would things be different if he didn't stay in the hood?
In this situation,
still helping the hood, would it have been different if he took his stuff like and opened up and bought a different, you know, property, or opened up his store at a different place? Because everybody knew that's where he was most of the time, was at his store.
Let me tell you something. In this situation, I think it's different. People of the community, people that really want to make change, people that really look up to other people for what they do. And, you know, you have those haters, but then you have those people that really uplift, whether they're gangbangers or not. I really do believe, and I know I've heard most of the story, and the story that I've heard, it aligns the same way. I haven't heard it any different. The reason that I say in this situation is different because it was close to home for him. When that guy came back, I couldn't even watch the video. And he was like, do you want to know? I don't want to watch the video. But then I was at work and it just ate me up and I watched the video. Mm-hmm. In the video, he's just standing there and sees that guy walking up. He didn't run when he saw
because he was a part of the neighborhood.
Because he was a part of the neighborhood that he grew up with.
Yeah, and
so
he just shook his hand the moments before.
He knew this character, so he felt no threat to this character. So whether it was in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, wherever it was, this was destined to happen in this way because it wasn't somebody that was against his hood or somebody that meant harm for him or was out to get him. This was his own, I want to say, in his own circle. I don't want to call it a friend, but whatever you want to call it, this was within his own circle. So whether he left to the richest cities, it was still going to happen.
But but his guard was down because he was in his community. He was around his people. That's why his guard was down. His brother actually did an interview and said that he was with him at that moment. He was inside the store and saw his brother get shot. This is what happened.
I think that was his business partner. Actually, his brother was at his house somewhere else. And
it said he came out in an interview and said it. I have the video. I can show you guys. Yeah. But he said that. His older brother said that the reason that he was there and he didn't have a gun on was because he was there to help this man who had just gotten out of jail, and he was going to give him some new clothes or whatever, hook him up. And he was there standing with him. He literally walked inside and he said, I remember the guy, he came over, he shook our hand, and then he left what looked like was going to get a burger or something. And he had food in his hand. So his brother went inside the store. He's like, I was not even there inside for a few minutes when we heard the gunshots. And he said the reason the other two guys that he was with didn't have guns is because they were felons, and that would be against their probation. And Nipsey didn't have anything on him. He said, but if I was outside, I had one on me, and I would be able to shot back because apparently the guy in the video, if anybody's seen it, I have to see it, but he literally shoots as he's shooting. Because he walked up, like you said, he walks up.
He only shot at Nipsey and one grazed the other guy, and the other two
So as he walks up, nobody's moving, nobody's getting crazy because they knew him. Mm-hmm. As he got close enough, that's when he pulled his gun and he shot. He started running backwards as he's shooting. If you watch the video, he's running backwards as he's shooting.
Goes around
Why?
the car.
Because he's expecting for them to shoot back. But then as they all fall to the floor and he's on the other side of the car, he realizes that they're not shooting back. So that's when he decides like he went
back and finished him.
Yeah, and that's when he came back and gave another 2 shots and he kicked him in the head.
So you know that was personal.
Off.
Yeah,
you know that was personal.
Yeah, it's like his brother
after you shoot him.
His brother said, "I feel like it's an execution."
He was so nonchalant. He was slow about it. Like he wasn't actually fast about it. And he went to kick him in the head. You know that's personal. Something was said, and from what I hear, I mean, we're not talking about what exactly happened, but from what I hear,
don't know
whatever was said. Obviously, that man took it that personal and went back and executed him. So whether he's in Beverly Hills or any rich city, I feel like it was already going to be destined to happen because that was somebody that was, I don't know how he was connected to him, but that was somebody that was already around him.
Yeah, which is crazy. So that's what I'm saying is like he had his guard down because he was in his neighborhood. So if he's not in his neighborhood, you're going to have your guard up. That's what I'm trying to say. So you're always going to be, you're going to have a bodyguard. He normally has a posse, a bodyguard. And at that moment, he had nothing because he felt at home. He felt safe. He felt
true.
He felt comfortable.
I could see that.
And I mean, it's not putting any pressure on anybody or any fault. It's just more like giving you an idea of how maybe the situation went down. But yeah, I just watched that video of his brother talking about that day because he was there. He saw it.
And I think I do want to. I agree with you, Thea, in the sense that it didn't matter where his store was, where he was. That might have been destined to happen because, and he has like these really powerful interviews where Nipsey does say things like this, where he says, you know, somebody that doesn't know you is more likely to support you, be a fan. It's the person that grew up next door to you with the same deck of cards that was dealt to them. And then they see you be successful. That sense of self-hate and bitterness grows inside of them, and jealousy. It wasn't just because this guy had $1 million, this guy felt jealous. They grew up in the same neighborhood together.
So he felt like he had to help him
and in the interview,
and that's what Kosi was saying, crabs in a barrel.
And in the interview, he seems not upset about it. He's like, you know, it's just how it is. He's like, I understand that. Like, you almost have to feel bad for that. You almost have to feel like you have to. That's why you have to help the hood, because that's not going to go away in one day. That is something that begins from birth. That sense of like, you are not worthy. You are not enough. You will not reach success. And when you see somebody from your hood reach that level of success that you will never get because of your life, and not because of your just your life choices, but because of the cards you were dealt, something that is out of your hands, that's going to fester inside of you. And that can only be healed through actual changes in your neighborhood, not just, you know, a friendship with Nipsey or a money from him. It was like, that's something like, that is some real deep shit that man felt the need to take someone else's life for something petty.
Yeah, so petty.
Like,
I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. I see you guys there. El Hijole says no, and he's responding to the question when I asked if we believe that the community is going to keep the marathon going. Viviana says yes, that she does believe. Kosi says the community was used to someone leading them. Right. They never became leaders. Well, Kosi, we never know.
I don't know.
There was a meme that somebody posted, like, you don't know how many Nipsey Hussles you just birthed. Yeah. So you never know. This can inspire other people to step up and do something. Elijola says, until the community wants change, it will happen. Nipsey planted the seed for people to talk about it, empowering people that don't want to be. This will happen again. Okay. And Anna says it's up to people in our communities to change, or else it will never change. Yeah, it's definitely something that, you know, still leaves LA with you know, a sad, broken heart on how everything went down. He was only 33 years old. Wow. He leaves behind, I believe,
two children.
2, or I thought it was 3.
It's 2, but he took on Lauren's, so technically it's like 3.
He has like a 10-year-old daughter.
That's not his son.
The older son is Lil Wayne's.
Oh no, I'm talking about.
He only has a daughter and a son. He only has a daughter and a
son. Oh, I see. Okay. And then
his wife.
His wife. His mom, I believe that they got married. I'm not 100% sure. And his brothers. So, you know, I just feel that people continue his legacy and don't stop. You know, I know it's in the media right now, but even when it's not in the media anymore and it's not the popular thing to talk about, let's keep it going.
Right.
Kosi's in there, she says, but when you're having rallies with people stabbing each other and shooting, shows they don't want change. So let me go ahead and correct that, Kosi. The media actually jumped the gun. There was no shooting.
Yeah.
There was no stabbing.
Just
there was maybe some a fight broke out, and that's why people started running. And then the glass from the candles like broke, and some people stepped on it. I don't know. Some people got injured from the stampede, and I think from the glass, but there was no stabbing and there was no shooting. Yes. But we also have to remember, when we do go to these you know, vigils and these things for him, that we don't get out of hand. Like, we still have to be respectful for him and his family and represent them correctly. And I know that the family is actually looking for a venue to have like a memorial, what is it called? Memorial for his fans. Yeah. So there's been places that have opened up for them, but they only sit 2,000 people. You know, they're
How
looking.
Many people want to go?
You know, they're looking for places that sit like 15,000.
Yeah, probably more.
So they are looking. Some ideas that venues that can possibly fit them would be like the Forum or the Staples Center.
What do you call that?
And
where they play football right now? The Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl?
That's big
too
enough,
far.
right?
Hell no, that's too far.
That's Pasadena.
They should do it in the Forum.
No, not
The
Rose
Forum
Bowl,
would probably be good.
The one
Yeah.
on Figueroa where they play where the Rams played before they got the stadium. Well, while their stadium is getting fixed.
They play at the Rose Bowl right now.
In Pasadena?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was L.A.
No. So they are looking into the venues like that to possibly host a memorial
I was
for
thinking
him,
about that,
so that his
though.
fans can
Go.
go. Kind of like
family,
when
knowing his family, like they don't want to share that, like that moment, that day is just gonna be for them, and I almost feel like it should be like we should have maybe the next day or something.
do
you know what
the
I'm
Coliseum.
That's what I'm
The
talking
Yeah,
Coliseum.
my bad.
Thank you, Elijo.
My bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chris said that he read today that it might be the Staples Center and the Forum would be good.
wow.
I think the Forum would be perfect.
Yeah.
It's just enough. And
It's in
the
his
parking
area.
lot is good. People can Uber and walk, and they can even do things outside of the Forum because the parking lot is that huge. But I think that just remember, if you decide to go to this, please be safe. I know
Go
that
in peace.
Go in peace.
go in peace, go calm, go in honor of him, of what he
Yeah.
represented. Like if you want to play music, play music. If you want to dance, dance. Play his music, but don't go
No
with
hood
bad
shit.
intentions.
No
No
hood
hood shit.
shit.
Yeah. If somebody accidentally pushes you or steps on your shoe, don't get mad. It's gonna be
Right.
crowded. Be understanding. This is not the time or place to try to fight somebody. It's a time to bring
don't
people
throw
together.
dirt on his memory like that.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's still hard. Like, you know what I mean? LA is still definitely
Yeah, we're sad.
sad and feeling it. And I don't even know what else to say, but I definitely wanted to have today's conversation about it because I feel like, yes, we're Ladies Night Radio Show. We're in Culver City, but we all grew up in areas that, I grew up in Westchester / Inglewood, / Hawthorne. You grew up in what, Hawthorne?
It's like Inglewood, Lenox area.
And you work in South LA.
Yeah, I work in South
I've
LA.
worked in Highland Park. So we've all have friends and family, and it just affects us. No matter where you live, if you live in LA, you're feeling the pain right now.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share that. I wanted to talk about it, to give us, peace of mind. And, I just feel like things need to be done and change. And so hopefully this opens up our city and we can unite for better. So I'm going to, if anybody has anything else to say, I'm going to wrap it up for that topic.
Just want to leave y'all agreeing with Jackie that we don't give up. And like Nipsey always said, it's a marathon, y'all. Like, it's okay to go slow. It is not okay to stop. So, whatever happens, walk, crawl, whatever you need to do. I think one day at a time. Like, be your best person, be your best self. Encourage others around you, your loved ones, to just be their best selves. And I think one day at a time, one person at a time, that we can make the world a better place. And that's what he stood for. So
Yeah.
the marathon does continue, y'all.
It does. Maria?
I just want to say that we all have good in ourselves, and I know that I want to say that we all have good intentions. I'm a firm believer of preach one, teach one, and you live by example. So I think that if you become a better person within, our world will be a better place because then you'll get it in return. I also want to say that I found out today that Chris Darden, he's the person that was in charge of the O.J. Simpson case. Now, you're wrong. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Well,
Yep.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep.
No, the conversation's done. I know that I get
agree.
in trouble for
I mean,
bringing
how many
other
lawyers
topics,
do we know that have represented rapists and killers? Like,
But
This
he
man
knows
know
he's
better.
wrong. He knows
He's from the
wrong.
culture.
And he's been out of the limelight. He wants to come back in. I get it.
Possibly.
But this is the wrong
You're right.
door. So just Crazy Maria says you need to sit your ass down.
sit your ass down. And you know what? This is our city. LA, I know that and I'm talking about LA. I'm not talking about Hollywood.
No, not
I'm
y'all,
talking
not the
about-
Valley. No,
Hey, nothing wrong with the Valley.
but that's not LA.
I lived out there for a while. I'm talking about Hollywood. The Valley might get a pass sometimes, but LA, like we are so real. We're so authentic. Even though we get sometimes that like that bad stereotype that LA are so bougie, LA is so fake, LA is so this. No, you're talking about Hollywood. Anytime people say LA is fake, you're talking about Hollywood. Hollywood is a whole different world, and I'm talking about LA. If you know people from LA, you know people. We grew up and were raised here. I'm talking about people in Hawthorne, Lenox, Inglewood, South LA, Compton. Like, that to me is LA. Like, those are the people that I consider, you know, I think that we got to remember to be what we're supposed to be for our community. And don't let it stop here. Let's keep this marathon going, as Nipsey, you know, said it, as he preached it. Let's keep it going. And, you know, one thing he was definitely good at, you know, I know we're 3 Latinas here, but we definitely agreed with a lot of the stuff that he was saying and what he did for our city. Yes. And how he was trying to bring Black and Latinos together. And, you know, and similar to what Tupac was trying to do. And so, you know, we were a lot younger when Tupac passed away. But I feel a lot of us can definitely feel the pain with Nipsey. And all I can say is, you know, we're going to try to be, it's really hard to say, like, just, we're going to do our best to, you know, be there for our community, do better, be better, and just hope that, you know, things get better. So we're going to end today's topic with Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, rest in heaven. You are never LA. Forgotten. You will never be forgotten.
Amen.
You will be missed. You are forever, man. And for you, I'm grateful for, even though you passed away, you're bringing our city together, even while you're gone. And we're going to miss you.
Your legacy continues, my love.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's hard, man. That's hard. Like, oh, shout out to Faletti. I see you in the chat box. Faletti's all the way in Oregon right now, but he's from LA. He's my tonguing brother, who's actually going to be on the show next Friday. I'm so excited. Okay, Faletti, my brother Ika, he's going to be here next Friday. And we're going to have some fun. He says he's just going to come to watch, but I told him I'm putting him on the mic. If you're going to come to my show all the way from Oregon, you know I'm going to put your ass on the mic. No, but he's from LA. He just moved out there for a job, and he's killing it out there. So shout out to you, Ika. I see you, man. But thank you for tuning in. Before we leave, we have to end with our last segment of the night. Mm-hmm. And our last segment of the night is Myra's question of the night. But Myra didn't fucking come today. But you know what? It's okay. I love her because, you know, she had to work. I get it. She cute. She cool. She my girl. But so I put a question for today. So today's question for you ladies is, how do you want to be remembered when you're gone?
Oh.
Let that sink in real quick. How do you want to be remembered when you're gone? I want even my listeners, people in the chat box, tell me your answers. Let me know. I'm going to read them. Anna says, do it, Jackie. Do what? What am I doing? Kosi says, can we play with him? What? Kosi, no.
Kosi's on drugs.
Kosi is highly medicated from her surgery. Do not pay attention.
You a damn lie. That's Kosi with or without her damn fucking pedicure.
We're trying to show her. We're going to try to give her some
help. Can we go on to
now?
the next segment real quick? How do we want to be remembered? If you're in the chat box, please let me know your answer. How do you want to be remembered? Yeah, I want to read it on air. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with Madi.
Man, you know.
Question of the night, Madi. How do you want to be remembered when you're gone?
Damn, can I start this one off with a quote? It'll be quick.
Yeah, go for it.
They say the point of life is not to live forever. It's to create something that will. And I think that right now in education and my passion in education, I think I just want to be remembered as somebody that didn't give up on people that needed it the most.
I love that.
And that I knew that you were capable of more.
I love that. Thank you. All right, Maria, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as who I am.
Who are you?
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell is Maria?
Funny, inappropriate.
She brought out a book, y'all.
Yes, I could write a book about my life. Y'all better buy it. Make me rich. Why are you damn? What the hell?
How do you want to be remembered?
All I want to do is bump and grind.
Oh my God,
okay,
really?
So back to the topic. Funny, inappropriate. Okay. Hey. Hey.
Okay, go.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, okay, I'm done. Go. How do you want to be remembered?
Shut the fuck up. I'm not saying no more. Nothing. Kiss my ass, Jackie.
Oh, no. I'm just trying to break the ice because we got really sad for a minute, so I'm just trying to make people laugh. Go.
So
you're the butt of the joke.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it. How do you want to be remembered? Crazy Maria.
Fuck you, Jackie.
That's how you want to be remembered.
Damn.
I'm mad.
Damn.
I ain't no fucking intro. Now, I didn't know that we could curse on this fucking radio. So I used to always be proper.
Fuck,
so now that I know we can fuck on this curse on the fucking radio, fuck you. And the reason that I found out was because I heard Keith Good News radio at 8:30 in the morning on Monday. He sure was cussing a lot.
God.
So.
Oh yeah, he was not
Green
happy.
light.
So anyway.
All right, go ahead.
I don't even know how to come into this. I just want to be remembered as who the fuck I am. I'm funny. I'm loving. I'm inappropriate. I'm spontaneous. I love my kids. I love my family. I love Corey.
Yeah, throw that in there. I love my baby daddy.
I do. We have history, even though we don't see eye to eye, but we have history.
It happens.
I just, for me, like my daughters, their future, like I want to make sure that they're well set and that, if I grow old, they're going to take care of me. I mean, it's many things, our community, our children left behind, the kids that are lacking. Like my heart is huge. And if I tell you like, man, like I have so many things that on a daily I wake up and I thank and I say wherever I can be, place me, like I'm here to help. So for me, it's just in general, be a good person and love unconditionally and just live life. Live life without stress, knowing that whatever I don't have, like whatever I can't change, I just leave it in God's hands and that's it. I don't worry. I don't stress. And I know that I probably should be. And Corey gets mad at me all the time. But you know what? I'm not going to stress out of things that I have not in my control. So that's just what I want to be remembered. And that's what I place in my daughters. It's not that I don't care and it's not that I live life without care. But you know what? My life is more important to live and be here for my children than to be stressing, angry, and ignorant and stupid. So I just live life.
That's
it.
right.
Hey.
Hey. She drops the mic.
Damn.
She drops the mic. And Maria, crazy Maria, that's my crazy sister. And I will say she has, from anytime I try to describe her to people, I say she has the biggest heart out of all of us. So there's 8 of us. And I feel that Maria has the biggest heart out of all of us. But if you screw her up or you do her wrong, she is crazy and she will come for you. So, you don't want to fuck with Maria because she's not one to fuck with. But she has the biggest heart. She's the nicest out of all of us. I always say that.
The nicest.
No, but she really is. I know that's hard to believe because she's fucking crazy, but she really is. Because I have 2 sides. I'm either extremely happy or I'm extremely pissed. You're either on my good side or you're on my shit list. There is no in between. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump in the chat box. I see you guys. Veronica says, that's a deep question. I'd want to be remembered as someone who contributed to making my community better. Mm-hmm. And she also says, that's intense, Maria. But you are crazy, but that's why we love you. Kosi wants to be remembered as a lover.
Kosi, go to bed.
That's fitting. Kosi, keep taking your medication, girl.
Yeah. We love you like this.
She'll be back next week. I know, right? As for me, that's it was a deep question. I just had to ask it, but I will say I want to be remembered as someone who was very kind, always happy, laughing, had good intentions, was non-judgmental, accepted you for however you were, and made you feel safe and comfortable and that you could trust me. And I just want to be remembered as somebody who, just try to make a difference with my kindness and my just being able to make you feel comfortable around me. But I mean, I don't know what else to say because it is a deep question. I just want to be remembered as someone who, treated you kindly. That was my biggest thing. And yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it, but that's my answer. If you guys have some more, go ahead and leave it in the comments and I will post them later if we didn't get to say it on air. But yeah, that was our question of the night.
That was a good question.
As I was playing these for Maria, I found that there were some really good ones in here. These sound effects. Most of them are from the Get Right, which you can listen to on Sunday at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And tomorrow's show is Sports Talk with Mark. He has a show every Saturday at 1:30. Tomorrow he actually has an athlete coming in, a professional athlete. I think he's a boxer. I'm going to come in to take some pictures and videos, but you guys should tune in to the Good News Radio app at 1:30 on Saturday and listen to Sports Talk with Mark. So we have amazing shows on the network. You guys, if you don't like my show, it's okay. You don't have to like it, but you should listen to all the other shows. They're amazing. Everybody on here speaks from their heart, is genuine, and does work for their content. Like, the hardest part of having a radio show is creating content, for real.
Yes, and you are just making it happen. Like, you bring the people things that they want to hear, and like, it's just the creativity that you have.
I mean, I appreciate that. Radio is exciting. I love it. It's something that's I've always wanted to do, so I'm going to make sure I always get it done. And I know there's times that you guys are tired and you guys have had a long week and you guys had a bad day or whatnot, but you guys still show up and you make it happen. So I appreciate you ladies for always showing up. So thank you for that. I'm going to give you all a round of applause.
Yeah. This takes a village, y'all.
It really does. And we just try to bring the best for our listeners. Shout out to Kathy, your friend from the Bay Area. She's working on a secret project for us, and I can't wait to share it with y'all.
Kathy, you are a real one since day one, since our first episode. Like, out of nowhere. Like, we've been friends since high school, but this woman, like, she just goes hard.
She does.
She just goes hard for us. She believes in what we're doing. She's passionate about the work and, like, our communities, pro women.
Yeah.
Like, just... like, she is inspired by what it is you're doing, and I think that that's amazing to see.
She's inspired by you too. She always gives
be.
you love. But I definitely can't wait for her to visit LA so she can jump on the mic. If not, we're gonna have to go to the Bay Area and make it happen. We're gonna do a show from the Bay Area.
Yes.
If you want us to come to your city, please reach out to us. Send us an email,
please,
and we will
God,
be
let
to your
us
city.
know.
and give us some room and board and food, and we'll be
Open
there.
up your house, y'all.
You don't gotta pay us.
I'll bring a sleeping bag.
Just feed us and clothe us. No, but BYOB. No, shout out to everybody for listening. I see you guys in the chat box. Thank you guys so much for being here. Anna, I see you. You guys rock. She says, I'm listening in. Anna, I appreciate you. You've been also a day one from the very beginning and been listening. I so am appreciative of it. And everybody in the chat box, I appreciate you guys. Veronica, good luck on your ride from the Bay Area to LA, raising that money for the AIDS. Like,
safety first, and just blessings to you.
And Anna says she likes our, Veronica says she likes our sound effects. Yay. I'm going to try to find some more sound effects for us. I mean, but I'm stealing, I think,
like, make her own.
Most of them from the Get Right, like I said.
Shout out to the Get Right.
We got the Rocky Balboa on here. Hey, show me what you got.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so those are some sound effects that I'm just playing with. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. That pretty much wraps up tonight's show. Thank you for being here and spending your Friday night with us. We see you. We appreciate you. I'm your host, Mysterious Jax. These are the ladies. This is Ladies Night Radio Show. And just remember one thing, ladies. Say it with me.
You are enough.
Hey,
we love y'all. Feliz Viernes.
Feliz Viernes.
Over here
Happy Friday. Be safe out there. I'm going to go ahead. I have to end tonight's show with a song from Nipsey. So
be your best selves. Live your true life. Be good to others.
Yeah. Take a shot for Nipsey. Pray.
Respect.
Be good people. I love you.
Yes.
We're good.
One love.
We're out.
Judge ain't sympathizing. Court don't show forgiveness. Engine in the Lambo drowning out the music. Sip Dior with the flowers, 5 gold Cubans. Champagne while I shop, hope I splurge foolish. Closing escrow twice this month, both commercial units. Damn, I wish my nigga Fast was here. How you died 30-something after banging all them years? In the astonishing tears, all this money, power, fame, and I can't make you reappear, but I'll wipe them though. We just embrace the only life we know. If it was me, I'd tell you, nigga, live your life and grow. I tell you, finish what we started, reach them heights, you know.
Rest in peace, Nipsey.
I was riding around in the V12 with the racks in the middle. Had to pray to Almighty God, they let my dog out the kennel. When you get it straight up by blood, you can't imagine this shit. I've been pulling up in the pop tops with the baddest bitches. Young nigga been focused on my check. Got a new coupe wrapped around my neck. Trying to put the water on my potato.